Holy moly. Ah, okay. Ah! So, I got my NAEIR shipment today, and NAEIR is an amazing company. The majority of, if not all of the materials that NAEIR sells have been completely donated. They have a handling fee, but not a traditional traditional cost. And this is one way that I get a lot of my really cool teaching supplies. And some of them are like functional supplies, like I've gotten things like Post-it notes or a bulk thing of pens, like all of these mismatched pens because pens are going to disappear. Great place for that. I also get some of my STEAM supplies through here, whether it is books or puzzles, especially working on a wide age range and ability range. It is awesome to get them through here. So all of these things I purchased with my own money for my kiddos. Some of these are for our third trimester, which is starting in like a week. So I'm so happy to have them now so I can finish polishing up those lesson plans. And because I want to take a different little adventure, maybe a side quest this summer as a summer school teacher, I signed up to work with littles again. It's been a long time since I taught kindergarten. So I was like, you know what, anywhere from 4K through like second grade, I think, or maybe kindergarten through third. I don't remember. I haven't been told my assignment yet, but I got some of the starts of some projects for my littles. Some things I already have, some things I need to keep spinning around my brain pan, but regardless, I'm so excited that it came and it's huge. They do include in here that if something is not in your box on your packing list, that it is because it sold out and they always return the money for that. So it was really amazing. I paid less than $200 for this whole huge box, and it has a value of approximately $738. I looked up some of the items as I was comparing them because of course I'm going to still see if I can get them cheaper. Sometimes there is sales on Amazon, sometimes there's Walmart clearance and closeouts. And I think $738 is very fair because some items I found were even a little bit more than they were quoting because they would use the at that time price. And for one of those items, it was this, the Build-A-Box City Crafter. And this one was one that I thought was really amazing. I got them for less than $3 a kit. I got 3 of them and 2 were in stock. So I know that I got an email. I believe that there are more in there now, but their value is like $14. Which is absolute madness to me, but I love having a city building unit. My last one was in 3rd grade and we built things out of recyclables and we took over an entire classroom floor and we covered it and oh my goodness. And it was an amazing way to talk about infrastructure, to talk about the engineering and math side of bridges, but also talk about how to work through problems and talk about all the different districts. It was so fun. I could see doing it with my bigs now and talk about it in kind of a dystopia, utopia sense while we're doing that unit. But I love it for my littles. It's a great hands-on craft sort of thing, but it also talks about the specifics of how different machines work, how different vehicles work. So this one is a bunch of vehicles. It also includes a clip and twist dispenser, which is so cool. I have never actually seen one in store, but I've seen them in a couple of these projects where it's the tape dispenser that clips onto a table. It's amazing to not have it run around. A pair of scissors and washi tape, stickers, road tape, so that they're not just drawing on masking tape. So I'm really excited for that one. I've been making it by hand the last few years, and I haven't used a ton of pre-prepared materials. I have some where I had like smaller houses pre-printed that they could cut out and fold or color and fold. And I love making tiny houses. And I had a couple of vehicles. So I think this year I'm gonna have this set available. We're gonna do a little bit less of that creative side of it because the section I signed up for is much more academically focused. So we're gonna have to rein in a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. So speaking of cutouts and having things done by hand, I got 3 of these sets. They were super, super affordable, and I love the word wall and I love the word trees. And I have this beautiful idea for the word tree because we do a lot more mind mapping once they get older. And a lot of the times when kiddos are thinking and writing on their paper, they're thinking about these offshoots. So I want to do something where we transform the word wall into more of a word tree, where we have some of our base words and our root words, and we see how they kind of grow into big kid words. And I got some mushrooms. They come in a few different colors, and I'm excited. I want to make sure that I learn and know everyone's name right away, and I love mushrooms, and I think that's a really cute way to kind of add some fun to a classroom, especially one that's not necessarily mine, because it's super unlikely that I will be working from my home room because my school is 90% virtual. So I'll be working in someone else's room or someone else's space. So I want it to reflect what we're doing while we're there for those couple of weeks, but also be easy to take down. And so I got 2 of those ones, and even if we don't use them all right now, I do still like to decorate my spaces for working online, and obviously there's more to come for us, and we'll see where else we're going to be using them. So we got a total of 4 packs of 31 of the acorns. They are double-sided. I forgot to mention that before. They have like a my flesh tone on here, and then a deeper flesh tone on that side, and then 2 of our cute mushrooms. So we've got a bit of our cottagecore scene going on. Next is a actual Highlights brand mini clocks. Now I really love these. I know some people have Judy, some people have Highlights, some people are making their own. We've been making our own for a long time, and I wanted something a little bit sturdier. So these are a thin cardboard. They are coated on both sides. I love that. They have a metal clip, but with a plastic backing, so it's not catching on anything. It's not getting pinched. It's not getting pulled out. And the hands are actual plastic. They are flexible, and they are textured, which is going to really help as well for our kiddos that have some vision differences. They'll need to be played with a little bit to loosen up. They're a little bit tight, but they are dry erase. They can write the times on here. They can write on the clock itself. It is all nice to use. And I think that'll just be really handy for a new classroom pack. My kiddos now don't have their actual own clocks that, you know, aren't ones that I made with my printer and my laminator. So having some for my upcoming littles, as well as those that are transitioning, and, you know, there's no hard and fast rule. I'll still send some to my kiddos now and just be like, sorry. But it's gonna be nice to have a proper class pack for a proper classroom size. Now this one was a little bit interesting. I got this one for our, not quite indoor recess, but it's like a busy bin, an indoor recess, something where if you finish your work, you have something to do that's not boring. It's not saying, hey, go and read, especially if you have like little littles that don't read yet. I love the value of reading. It is so great, but I like to plan out reading times, especially so we can model what good reading is like and not just use it as a, well, this is done, go do that. I love some hands-on sort of materials, and these I wanted to give a try. They have a tear-resistant material and 25 different pieces to stack into different pyramids. So I'm really excited to see how many different combinations we think of and really how it goes. So I think I only got 1 of these because I really wanted to give it a try without investing too much into something that I don't know of. I also do like a lot of kinetic sand. I have a couple different types of sensory bins. And of course, every parent's dreaded the slime. I am a slime king, and I'm all right with it in my room. I know that sometimes it's a little extra to clean up, but I make sure to use ones that don't stick to clothing. And if we have a friend that likes to put them on their bodies, then we have smocks for that. Next up, we have Brain Crunchers. These are huge 8x10 heavyweight cards. They are good for starting a conversation. So if you are a new teacher and you're working on getting going with your community circle time, or if you're not a very new teacher and it's just a tricky year, these are a great way to get it started. They also make an amazing end of class activity when it's time to line up and you're 1 minute early, or it's time to line up and it's not quite your time because somebody else down the hall is having a hard go of it. If you need to entertain your class at a go, this is a great option. It's also really nice for small groups just to kind of get some of that social interaction time in, or as a story starter, something that they can do individually. So they are really fun. Like I said, big cards. So what do you picture when you hear the word vacation? Okay. And most of these have a double question. So if they are not more of a creative type, there is a more concrete question. So like, what's the tallest building you've ever visited? So some of those are really fun. A creative and a concrete. I love that they are talking to those who work better with concrete versus abstract thinking and keeping it together on that same theme so everyone can work together. So fun to work on something like this. And there are 30 double-sided cards, so 60 scenarios in total with 2 questions each. All right, these ones are a little bit different. They are for our regular decorations. Let me restart that. For my regular classroom, I wanted a couple decorations, but we also wanted to make something a little bit special for events. So there are white, and I believe it said like a white and silver maybe, but it's definitely a white, and a gold tone banner. They have these really pretty kind of floral designs that I think are really nice. And I have a feeling we'd be able to use at least one side of them to do one of our pattern making or service design sort of classes that we have coming up when we are talking about hands-on art. So I really like that for visual arts. And one of the cool things about having my hands in every subject is we get to try a whole lot. Speaking of, I got a kit from Crayola. I am a little worried about the box, so I'm going to carefully unbox it and right away bag it and get it out, because it does have where it looks like it had some damage, some water exposure and some rust, and looks like some old mildew. So I'm gonna unbox, unbag, and rebag. Be right back. Okay, so there is definitely the evidence of water, but there is no actual water damage, and I think we're pretty good with this. So everything in this kit, it was the calligraphy kit. So we have 50 of the super tip markers. I'm going to take them out of their packaging before they go to the school anyway. But I did look at everything, and they're in good condition. So 50 different colors of super tips. Also includes a pack of 8 metallic markers. These are so fun. I have not had metallic markers this year yet. And something I was really excited for, mostly for my littles. So while they won't be using it in so much of a calligraphy format, I wanted some filled paintbrush pens. I have been getting just regular refillable pens and putting in watercolor and things like that, but I really wanted to try out the Crayola kind because I know sometimes when I am the one making them, they leak. So if you have any good recommendations of a water pen that doesn't leak, even if it is squeezed, because it's one thing for me to be like, oh, handle it gently. It's another thing for 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, etc., to know how to handle something gently. So something that can stand up to that would be awesome. And in there is also a calligraphy book. It is a little wibbly wobbly, like it got a little bit of the water damage, but it is pretty. It goes over some of the basics. So I think this is actually one that's going to go in with my big stuff, because while letter practice is something that's so important with our littles, we are not going to be confusing them with a blend of print and cursive and making it fancy. They learn print, they learn cursive. Let's keep it as simple as possible, and especially for littles, no tears. Handwriting with no tears. Speaking of art supplies, they had quite a few Richardson soft pastels. Now this one is not for my littles, as much as I love and adore them. We are still on some more durable materials, but I'm thinking specifically when I work with bigs and when I'm working with adults. for those of you that are brand new to me or haven't seen, I work in a homeless shelter in the evenings. And one of the things we do there is some art therapy and some expressive therapy. So we've been using oil pastels lately. They are a little bit frustrating and they're also a little bit freeing. And I want to see about adding in some soft pastels. So these ones are really beautiful. They are, amazingly enough, a full stick pastel. So I'll have to get some actual pastel paper another time. But it was a gorgeous, gorgeous set of 15 colors. They were valued on here at $37, but when I looked them up online, I could at the time not find them for cheaper than, I want to say like 40 or so. And they were a half stick sort of thing. I know that those ones might have been a slightly different format, but regardless, I didn't look too hard. I kind of just grabbed a general value, found the closest I could, and I'm really happy with the value of these. The colors are absolutely stunning. And yeah, well, that's not a tight grip at all. Yeah, so they are really beautiful and obviously much more durable than I was worried about. Not a single one broke. Oh, I lied. I cracked two. Oh, well, I guess I'm the one to worry about more than the littles. So, point being, I'm excited to work on that with them and try them out, and we'll see what kind of paper and stuff we can get to work on that. I'm gonna put that somewhere not precarious. Oh, I feel like I need to speed up. So, also got some paint glaze. They came in a pack of 4 from Crayola and Seals and Shines paints. I love using this to help protect some of the art projects. I couldn't actually find it online anymore, so I'm wondering if it wasn't just kind of done away with. They do still make the sealant for clay, but not specifically for paint. And I really like it, especially when we do things like mask or like a paper mache kind of critter. You want it to be sealed so it doesn't scrape off or rub off or the colors change, and plus it makes it a little bit glossy. Also a great way to get glitter to stick without having to deal with the extra step of glue. So I got 1 set of those for my littles, but some of my bigs have been talking about a new transition activity, and one in particular wanted to try something hands-on business-wise. So grab them one of these painted finishes. Again, it came in a little pack of 3 and it gives it the effect of rust. So she really wants to try out more of that hands-on art. So if you are unfamiliar with transition, it's a part of being in special education where we help prepare you for what comes next. So it starts in middle school, right around the time that they're 14. I like to start it a smidge early, even though we only officially have to do that paperwork at 14. And it just takes into account their interests, their strengths, and their skills. That way we know which areas to focus on. So if there's a particular job that they want, that they're in the right classes for that. And if they have skills, we can work towards enhancing those ones, work towards finding them a job that works with those skills that they have and also addresses any gaps. So if they are afraid of cooking, if they're having toileting issues, if they have a big dream of managing their own business, if they want to go into a certain field, all of those things and so much more fall under transition. And that is something that is super close to my heart, and that is something I really focus a lot on. I just recently expanded it to all of middle school because I feel like it felt very jarring and very upsetting to a lot of my middle schoolers that weren't getting that when some of their other middle school peers were. And it was like, well, why aren't you having these conversations with me? And while we know that there's a difference in what we get in our abilities, it can also be very, what's the word I'm thinking of? It can make us feel very left out when we're already an ostracized group and then you're stuck outside of a conversation that the rest of your group is having. So I started in middle school, and of course, we really talk about it a lot in high school and make sure that they have all of the skills that they need to live on their own if that's what they want, to live with roommates if that's what they want. There's so many extra dynamics in that. Knowing what kind of decisions that they have to make and their right to determine all of those things is a big conversation that happens again and again and again in all of these different nuances over the course of the next couple of years. And I'm really excited that we're going to move through in this way, because I think this one particular kiddo is having a really hard time putting into words what she wanted to do. And most of our kids will end up moving towards different paths in their lives than one another. So it's great to also experience them together. So not everyone is going to go into auto mechanics or learn how to be a cook or learn the intricacies of baking. But there are certain parts of that process that we all get to do together. And then they get to branch off and learn what makes their hearts happy. So we got a couple materials for things like that and kind of trying them out. But yeah, anyway, this was one of the things that kind of came up to match that aesthetic vision in their head. And we'll provide some extra materials so that they can get some hands-on practice. And yeah, anyway, we got just a few more things that covered some of those artistic sort of things. I got one rubber stamp because I was seeing that it was really a neat process for a lot of kiddos in one of our art classes, and some of the different things that we've been able to make with impressions. But I had a kiddo who has a lot of difficulty managing things with his hands. So when I saw that they made a 6x6, I jumped on this idea. I'm going to put a big block on it and a handle so that someone that has a difficulty grasping can be part of that activity. So we'll see how that goes and if there are other ways that we need to do it. Because one thing that's really important is that it has to be age appropriate, not only developmentally appropriate. So things like big handled single alphabet letters are not going to have the same level of appropriateness as something like this. I'm not sure about it because it is a big, very detailed image, but the point is that we make strides forward in making sure that they are accessing things that make sense for their actual age, as well as their mental ability, and join that with their physical and mental capabilities. Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought these were cheap and cheesy paper. Part of what I do, which is a little bit ridiculous looking, every unit has a theme, right? Space is one of my favorite ones, but plants and flowers is another one, if you didn't notice from the other things. And the last couple of years, I've done a flower unit where we make big flowers for the walls. So I love it when the kids come in and it is an experience. Obviously, I don't fill the whole room with it because that would be a sensory overload for anybody. But there should be this little sense of wonder, I feel. And I thought that is what these were. But they are actually a proper faux flower. Look at my mom's. So help me in this Miss Frizzle moment. I was planning on doing some more paper flowers again, but I am loving this. They are a proper fabric faux flower. Got our base. We have a removable base, which is going to help so much. Stick a little tack on that and pop one up. And I have a little box of them. So, on the floor. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now that I see like the size of them, the size was a little different. I don't run into that a whole lot, but the size is a little bit different. I almost want to see if I can put them on the front of desk. I haven't used desks lately, but sometimes they give me a desk. Usually I ask for a table because I like tables, but so pretty. I think it'll look really cute as a wall decoration, as a little poof, but we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes the heart wants just what the heart wants. So yeah, I'm not sure yet. Sometimes, doesn't that just happen? Sometimes it does. So, okay. This one, speaking of transition, we had a request to learn how to sew. So I got a box, really, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. 12 needles. They are officially quilting needles, quilting patchwork, which I felt like would be the best for doing some hand sewing They are small enough that they will actually work with some types of beads, but I didn't want something that was strictly for embroidery, though embroidery is my jam, so that they could learn some of that basic mending. I feel like that is it's also a really important skill, and it was finally like requested that we spend like some actual group time on it, so we shall. All right, we are almost done here. We have a package from Post-it from the Noted collection. Your desk has never looked better. My desk is currently my sofa, but I like the enthusiasm. Right now I'm putting my office back together, trying to make a daytime office upstairs in the dining room where it used to be, but set up a little bit differently, and then downstairs a nighttime office. But this one completely, selfishly, is for me. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I wanted some more supplies. I need some help getting things organized, and I really liked the ones that were available. This Make a Habit one, I absolutely love. I think I've gotten the majority of these pieces individually at Target, and I like this a lot. It's a great habit tracker. It's also a great way just to have like a little calendar set up. But habit trackers, these are nice. And while, I don't know, I really like them like this. I make a couple for my kiddos that kind of help them keep track of things. I was always kind of on the fence with like the behavioral tracker sort of things, but I think in terms of like tracking things for yourself, that really makes sense for me. And then a basic weekly plan, like there's a nice amount of pages. They're pretty, and it's got a little bit of a dotted note area at the bottom. I don't even know if you can see the little dots. Not really coming through. Oop, there you go. And just has the day of the week. Make a little weekly plan. You know, sometimes you just need a break from like the overwhelming everything that is in the teacher planner. And some little circle notes. They also have the dots and pluses, and they're just really cute. I don't have a plan for these ones. They came as part of the set. I know and love these, and I wanted them. It comes with washi tape. I love washi tape. I think I'm going to use these with my kiddos though, because I think they also tend to love washi tape, and it'll be a really nice way to tape down art paper, because washi tape doesn't tend to rip the majority of art paper. And we have some pens. I do wonder if they are colored, because I've gotten both colored pens as well as black pens in a colored case. So let's see. Ooh, it's looking good for us. We've got an orange and a light pink, very light, and a dark pink. That's so pretty. Oh, you know what? Let's make it a little, there we go. So they're cute. I like them. The light pink is a little bit really light, but I think it'll look nice on the lighter paper. I don't think it'll actually, it's like the same shade as this one, maybe just slightly lighter value. And I like this box. Like, it's nice, it's sturdy. This is my new desk organizer, especially as I want to pull out a proper desk. So I'm going to get all of that in there, because definitely keeping that one. It's reinforced, it's lined. I love it. Last but not least, wait, not last, second to last but not least. I don't think that works. Anyway, I got library pockets. I love having a proper classroom library. It's my jam. I have a stamp that goes in all of my books, and I have a stamp that goes in all of my materials. But I've never had proper library pockets with little library cards. And moving forward, especially with what I want to do educationally and what I want to do therapeutically, because I'm getting in training in school to be a therapist, is have a better setup for my library. So I got 6 packs of 35, which will be a good start for the size of library that I have. Obviously, I teach birth through 21, so I have a lot of books. Some things the stamper will continue to be best for, especially soft books, things that get chewed on, get wiped about, that get folded up. But some of my big kid books that need to be checked out for longer periods of time, that really helps. Also, I put paper in these. I'm not going to make library cards necessarily. I love the aesthetic idea of that. But this is just the right size to stick onto a book, to include some post-it notes for ahas or like, oh, what's happening, details, anything like that. Part of me thinks about doing the library cards. Part of me really wants to just have some of those materials on hand, and they're pretty. So we'll see how many other places I can use them. I've seen them on some different boards as well. I know we made some a couple years ago for kind notes to one another, which was a really fun experience. We moved to doing letters, like little envelopes on the board instead, which was also really nice because it felt like getting something really special. Yeah, so I don't know. I got 6 packs of them because they were beautiful, and now I have them. Okay, actually last, I got shorts. I have a pair of these shorts and some of my kiddos really liked them, actually really liked them. But then it came about that they're struggling with gym class because they don't have shorts of their own, and it's kind of tricky to do gym in your jeans. So they're cute. They are Under Armour skorts. Yeah, they're cute. I thought that they were skorts, but they are just like skirts. So the version I have is obviously a little bit different. It has like the little white shorts underneath it. I didn't get the ones with the red shorts underneath it because you could see through the material a little bit. But anyway, they're Under Armour. They are athletics. They will be really nice, especially for my kiddos that are uncomfortable with wearing the leggings and it just being the leggings. So yeah, so I got a pair for everyone that requested, and they were at a very, very good value. Especially being Under Armour. Because yeah, everyone deserves to be comfortable and be able to go to classes, and something like being uncomfortable with your body is not a reason to be prevented from class if it can be remedied, you know? So, holy potatoes, that's everything that came. Now I had to put it all away. Oh no. Okay, thank you so much for watching. And you know, if you happen to be at a company where you think, hey, this could be really useful for kids in school, someone in a nursing home, someone in a daycare, someone fighting homelessness, anything like that, consider possibly donating to NAEIR. They only work with people connected to nonprofits. You have to have a reason specifically for things. I know I did do one, I did get one thing that was just, it's just for me. Otherwise everything, I mean, it's for me for school, but yeah, I don't get really selfish with that. Nothing is ever resold, anything like that. Everything has to go through the proper channels. So it's a great opportunity for you if you want to donate. If you are a teacher or daycare worker or social worker or childcare professional, or you know what I mean, okay? Check them out, okay? I will try to remember to put the referral information down below. I know that they have a Facebook group. I just forgot something. Oh no. Wait. Speaking of books, as soon as I opened this, I took these all out because I was so excited and doing my stupid happy dance. Speaking of for me and for my work and my practice, I got 4 books. So Okay, let me show you what we got. I got Mindful Somatic Awareness for Anxiety Relief. This one uses the SOAR model, so I really wanted to look more in depth into that, so that I can help a little bit more with that. So somatic awareness, I have been really getting into a lot of mindfulness in this past year and working on applying that with my students and my clients. So as I am learning, I want to add in more that, especially with that body-based approach. So far, we do a lot of feelings and how it feels in the body. So taking that one next step up, and to be honest, I needed some guidance in working with adults in this way, as I've been working with children as a childcare professional for over a decade. I'm working with grown-ups for the first time. Now that I am working on more of an adult sphere, everything from high school to people who are in their middle ages is a big shift for me. So I really wanted to see how I can take some of that I know works and that I know the science is so great on, and see if I can apply that in a better way to my grown-ups. Next, the Artful Path to Mindfulness. So this one is an MBSR based model, and it uses art therapy as well. So it's mindfulness based self-expression. This is what we've been doing for my art therapy group, and I just need a little bit more. And it's got some journaling. It has an actual week by week breakdown, and I really like that. So I'm going to try that with them as we're working through things, and they were so good to me. They let me try out so many things as I'm going and learning. One of my last courses, we had to take the whole line of treatment that we were recommending and follow through with it and see where did we fall, where might our clients kind of have difficulty, because it's easy enough to say, oh, if you only do this and this, you'll be fine. You know, we're not fine, we're growing. And see like, wow, man, this one really stuck with me, or like I was good at this, but this is what got in the way, and really narrowing that down. So I like that it had that same week to week model, and we're going to keep going with that. I got the Mindful Breathing Workbook for Teens, another that's workbook style, and it's some simple practices to help manage stress and feel better. So helping understand the kind of feelings that they're going through, be able to more smoothly shift out of that dysregulation, because we're not going to try to plan to not ever become dysregulated, because everyone gets dysregulated. It is a part of life, but to be able to shift out of that can be really extra hard for some of our friends. So this one is another workbook style. Some of them have smaller fill in the blanks, some have exercises, and there's a lot of tracking. So I'm going to introduce just a few of those ideas once I get a better understanding of how this way it wants to do it, before I actually enact it overall, whole group wide. Last, dialectical behavior therapy for at-risk adolescents. This is working with my older kiddos, my teens, and my young adults. DBT is obviously a great practice, as it's been proven over time to be so supportive in a lot of at-risk behavior, as well as, worst case scenarios. So while it started off with a really particular lens that it was looking at supporting with, it also helps with moodiness and aggression and eating disorder, substance abuse, and self-harm. So I am really interested in this one. This one is written more so to practitioners, and specifically on how to help guide through some challenging behaviors, because behaviors are that form of communication that we're seeing most of the time. So that is the true end of everything. That is my selfish little bubble. Is I need to know more, I need to learn more, and I wanted some guidance on how to be the best teacher and social worker and case manager and everything else that am learning to be that I can. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you and bless you, and I love you so very much. Goodbye.